The 5 shifts of the compounding agent, from doing to becoming. Transactions don't change your life. I've heard it said many times, they could just get 1 transaction. I get it. It's important. They definitely need a transaction. However, it will not change their life. The only change that's going to come about is their identity. You don't need more leads. You need a stronger identity. Who are you? What do you build? What do you want people to say about you? You don't need more motivation. You need, you ready for this? More responsibility. You need to ask yourself, who am I responsible for? What can I do for other people? How can I make this situation better? Like when I walked into EXP and I looked at this model, I said, what's my responsibility here? And I sat around and I checked things out, studied the leaders, studied them hard. And I said, my responsibility is to grow this thing. That's my responsibility, number 1. You don't need more confidence. You need more movement. You got to move. You just got to move. I've heard it so many times from great companies that went public that weren't even ready. Uber went IPO. They went public. And the main thing that held them together was some type of billing system to where if you jumped in their car, you could get billed correctly. And we later learned that was put together with duct tape. It was barely holding up, yet they still went public. How many times in your life have you said, man, once I learn everything, once I get my ducks in order, I can give you time after time after time of huge companies that you use today. Facebook, Airbnb, they were an absolute nightmare when they went public. You need movement. You gotta move. I'll teach you that. It's impossible to steer a parked car. I can't steer you if you're sitting still. My mentor program, you're gonna move. And a lot of people are gonna quit my mentor program. Oh, I wanna sit around and learn how to do X, Y, Z. I wanna learn how to do this. No, we're gonna get you to move first. Then we'll learn that. Step 2, from working for money to money working for you. This is vital in the 5 shift to go from survival to success to significance. Absolutely vital for you. If you're always working for money, you're in trouble. You're absolutely in trouble. Compounding requires ownership, leverage, time, patience, systems, and people. Most agents never experience compounding because they never stop trading time for income. I hear it all the time. Man, I just got to do some transactions. I don't have time to build. I don't have time to babysit. Well, you shouldn't be babysitting if you're building this thing correctly. The way Glenn built this for you and I, you shouldn't be babysitting. If you're babysitting, it's your fault. Compounding begins the moment you stop asking, you ready for this? You need to write this one down. The moment you stop asking, how do I make money? And you start asking this question, how do I build something that pays me even when I don't work? That's what you need to look at first. Yes, you got to do transactions. Yes, you got to get dirty and do all that stuff for sure. However, you're not meant to stay there and you can't sustain it. Shift number 3, from transactions to people. Transactions don't scale, people do. Your business grows at the speed of your conversation. Your leadership grows at the speed of your follow-up. Your leadership grows literally at the speed of conversations and the speed of following up with people because you'll learn so much about yourself. The great John Maxwell, the guru of gurus of leadership, when he took on, I believe it was his first job as a pastor, they were paying him $86 a month. It might have been 68. I might have gotten the numbers reversed, but $86 a month. But he still wanted to over deliver on that $86 a month. So after church service on Sundays, what he would do is he'd go to his little office and he would make dials until he set up 10 appointments to meet people, to talk to them about Jesus. Here was the catch. You ready? When he would sit down with people and talk to them about Jesus, they would stump him. They would quiz him hard. They would tell him why they're agnostic. They would tell him why you can't believe the Bible. How do you believe? And they would stump him time and time again. And he'd quietly say, I don't know right now, but I'll get you the answer. And when he was telling us this story, there's only 10 people in the room when he was telling us this, and I'll never forget it. He looked around the room. He goes, anybody in here want to try to stump me right now? And he smiled at us with his John Maxwell smile, because we knew what that meant. All the conversations, all the follow-up, everything he did, he learned as he went. He wasn't a fraud. He wasn't an imposter. He believed in Jesus. He just might not have been able to answer all their questions. But now, try to stump him. Ain't gonna work. He put himself through the fire. He put himself through the follow-up. That, my friend, is where your leadership grows. That kind of sounded like Maxwell right there, my friend. Your organization grows at the speed of your belief in others. You have to believe in others. You have to believe in others. You know why? They don't believe in themselves. They've been beaten down. They've lost. But here's what I can tell you about people that have been beaten down. When they have someone look them in the eyes and they can feel like they believe in them. I'll never forget this. I was 34 years old. I was broken. All our cars were repossessed. We were so broke. It was so horrible. It was so disgusting. And I sat in this office that Fitz and Heather had. They were younger than me. And Heather looked at me and she goes, I have no doubt you're going to be successful. I replayed that over and over and over. She turned me into a machine because she believed in me. Every time I saw Fitz, he'd be the same way. You're the man. You're going to do this thing. And every time I would hold on to everything that you got to believe in others. Here's the beauty about believing in others. You start believing in yourself. It's the craziest thing in the world. You can be broken and busted, and you start putting your belief in others, all of a sudden something comes out of you. Absolutely magical. You don't build a compounding life by closing deals. You build it by building people. That is shift number 3. Shift number 4, from control to leverage. This one's gonna punch you right in the gut if I haven't done so already. Survival clings to control. Success manages control. And significance is pure freedom, baby. They release control. It's the freest place you'll ever live, but you're gonna have to give up control. Leverage is uncomfortable because it requires trust, but trust is the only way to multiply. Nothing breaks my heart more than when I'm coaching and I'm helping someone that's either going through a husband or a wife going through a divorce or whatever's happening, or a relationship, and they're breaking up, and they say to me, I'll never trust again. And the first thing I say to them is, don't let them win. There's someone out there you can trust, I promise. I promise you there's someone out there you can trust. If you say, I will never trust again, you are giving that person all the power of your life forever. Here's what I learned about trust. Give it a try. What is it? You're gonna hurt you? I trusted them and they let me down. Well, some people let Jesus down. Are you doing miracles in front of these people? Because if you're not, please understand, Jesus did miracles in front of people. Are you? It's okay, but it's much better to trust. I will trust 100 people. 98 of them can break that trust, and 2 of them don't. My life will multiply. You're gonna have to trust. The most beautiful place for you to personally live. You can't compound anything you insist on controlling. That is shift number 4. Shift number 5, you ready? From short-term thinking to long-term responsibility. Compounding requires time. Time requires patience. Patience requires responsibility. Most people quit right before compounding begins, not because it doesn't work, but because it works too slowly for their ego. How big is your ego? I had this great conversation with this young lady the other day, and her father kind of passed down the family business. He just passed down his skills to her. And she remembers calling him one day, and she was like, I talked to 20 people today, and all of them said no. And he looked at her and he says, just how big is that ego? 20 people said no, and what do you think, you're as good as me? He didn't say that, but that's what he's saying, right? Calm down with yourself. What? You're gonna have to let go of the ego. Significance is built through boring consistency, repetition, follow-up, conversations, leadership, and responsibility. Compounding is slow until it's not. I'm living proof. Write that down. Compounding is slow until it's not. And when it takes off, people are gonna say, man, you just came out of nowhere. And you're gonna smile because you know the battle that you just went through. Don't correct them. Don't get upset with them. Just smile. Yep, I did come out of nowhere. But you know you came out of the smoke and the fire. But don't worry about that. Just say, yeah, came out of nowhere. That is the 5 shifts you'll need to make. I promise you make those. I'll work with you. We'll walk together. I got this young man in my life, Brandon Scribner. He calls me about every single day because he's walking with me and he wants to compound his life. He's going to compound his life because he calls me daily. He'll say things like, I'm sorry, I'm frustrated, I'm venting. No. That, my friend, is why you're supposed to call. Most people quit and they say it doesn't work. And by the way, quit telling people it doesn't work if a lot of people have done it. Go get yours. I'm getting mine.